So why do you think masculinity itself has been demonized?
I say, like with any question, there are multiple reasons and answers. I mean, one could say it's a backlash against masculine abuse. One could say that the feminist movement, which started off as a beautiful thing and still is a beautiful thing in its proper form, in many ways has gone way too far. You could say we're living in a society where social media has really ramped itself up, and you get the loud, extreme bleaters on either side, almost setting the narrative, almost the tail wagging the dog. So you've got people with grievances and chips on their shoulders, that are shouting so loudly, and that almost becomes a dominant narrative, even though it's not the worldview held by the bulk of people. So I think there are multitudes of reasons. In South Africa too, we have a particularly difficult situation. We have a very broken history, as you know, and migrant labor, poverty, terrible governance, backlash from years and years ago of apartheid. So you've got a lot of broken families, and you've got one of the worst situations of fatherlessness and gender-based violence in the world. Now, if you've got gender-based violence, obviously you're going to have women who've been abused by men and quite rightly hurt, damaged, angry, furious, backlashing. So I think there are many reasons. I think if you look at the Western world as a whole, outside of South Africa, it's become a very woke and very distorted society, and very polarized. The narrative is blame the man, blame the patriarch. So I think there are multitudes of factors that have led towards this. But the bottom line is it's really damaging young men. It's as you said, demonizing men, and a lot of young boys are growing up very much on the back foot. I often ask guys at schools when I do talks, would you put out on social media, "I'm proud to be a man"? And they say, "Oh, no, I couldn't do that." And that's very sad. If you're a man, you're a man. What else can you be? And you should be able to be proud of being the man you are. But there's a sort of a shame attached. I think there's been a lot of things leading up to it. But the bottom line is it needs to be countered with the truth.
Yeah, the irony of that, picking up on the feminist movement, which I would say would it unfortunately gives a bad reflection on the feminist movement, because that in all rights is a tremendous thing to fight for equality.
100%.
And equality of opportunities. So every human should have the opportunity to be able to decide for themselves what they would like to make of their life. And
absolutely,
an argument can be made, certainly, for the fact that wasn't the case with females, 10, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. So it's a tremendous movement. And the irony of that neoliberal woke, as you called it, viewpoint, is they are alienating the very women and people who should be benefiting from such a movement. You look at this in the area of sports. I work a lot with sportsmen. I have a gym, and the transgender movement, and you've got previous males, physiological males that have changed gender and that are now competing against females. That is the most outrageous thing for a female to ever contend with. It's the most anti-feminist movement and thing to do out of anything. And it's just quite
100%.
mind-blowing that how it's been distorted.